Good evening and welcome back, Tara McNamara. Great to be with you.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
This is the final night of our month-long spotlight that we've been calling the Hays Gaze, where we look at pairs of movies about a similar subject matter, one that's pre-code and one that's after the strict enforcement of the code. Tonight we're going to start off with a pair of movies about the issue of alcoholism. The first one is Night Nurse from 1931, starring Barbara Stanwyck, where she plays a nurse who gets kind of caught up in a murder mystery. But it's a bit of a subplot that we're going to focus on because there's a character played by the actress Charlotte Merriam, Mrs. Ritchie, who's this fabulous socialite, but she's always drunk. How is this portrayed in the movie and what was problematic about it?
Night Nurse is a pre-code bonanza. There's a lot to see in here. You're going to go dizzy between all the times that Barbara Stanwyck and Joan Blondell change clothes, like constantly.
Lots of lingerie.
Absolutely. I mean, Joan Blondell did say it was scandalous. But yeah, the concern with the code really was the alcoholism and the way alcohol was portrayed. The shenanigans are afoot. And Mrs. Ritchie's being a lush is the root of it all. When Laura Hart, which is Barbara Stanwyck's character, first sees Mrs. Ritchie, she is face down on a bare rug, passed out cold, and she's having to fend off Mrs. Ritchie's lover, who is also drunk, who is trying to force himself on her. And when she goes out to find Mrs. Ritchie, we see partying and canoodling by all of these wealthy elite, and it's almost like the Mask of the Red Death. There's all these wealthy people inside just ignoring what's going on outside the walls. So there were real concerns with the way that this was portrayed, and the Hays office did ask for them to clean it up.
Well, when you watch the movie, you get the sense that the Ritchie household is this fabulous, never-ending party. I mean, yes, some people are so drunk that they're passing out, but it also looks kind of fun.
Right.
And I imagine that also might have been part of the problem, is that in comparison to The Lost Weekend that we're going to show next, alcoholism and alcohol use and even abuse is kind of portrayed in a way that makes it look charming and enjoyable.
This is what's interesting about the pre-code era, right? They have the code, they know they need to adhere to the code, but at this point, the Hays office is really thinking, well, what are you going to take away? So I work at Common Sense Media, and we look at how kids interpret things, which was a big consideration of why there's a code. Kids never take away what you think they're going to take away, okay? So their decision at the end was, okay, we see this movie's about a mom who ignores her children. That's what it's about. And they're not going to take away anything about drinking because it's portrayed negatively. But in reality, you're right. It looks fun.
All right.
Nobody gets to the ending where they're like, oh, well, then that happens. That's not going to happen to me, you know? And that's like becomes more of a concern after Joseph Breen takes over the code.
And there's a doctor in this film who's clearly a drug addict. I mean, there's a lot of shady characters in this one.
And that really was another one of the big concerns of the Hays office, because in the code, they want you to have respect for authority, for doctors, for scientists, like anyone who is in authority, you needed to show that. And it's questionable here. You know, you don't trust doctors at the end. I actually did find some advertisements and stuff from the era. People did not trust doctors back then.
Wow. Also features a great early villainous performance by Clark Gable with no mustache.
Oh, I know. This really introduces him, and he is brutal. He is a villain for the ages. He does physically attack Laura. He punches her, and it's so shocking it set off a trend. And then people were like, oh, but girls still like Clark Gable, so we should put more of this in movies.
That's troubling.
It is!
Well, there's a lot to discuss in this movie, so we'll talk more about it after we watch it. But here from 1931, directed by William Wellman, Barbara Stanwyck, and Clark Gable in Night Nurse.